We picked up this Jamal Murray for about 18K, and I wanted to see. Well, we're going to do a deep dive on this card, and I want to see if this card truly does fit into the meta at the price that he is right now. Because it might be a situation where you might want to actually get on to pulling this card now while he is this cheap. If he's like actually a meta card, because the meta cards are, you're looking for range extender, quick draw, dunking ability with clamps and 86 ball control, right? That's the magical formula for a meta guard. And as we see here with Murray, he has a 90 ball handle, 95 three-point shot, 92 three-point shot, 85 driving dunk. This was, Derrick Rose before. This was a pink diamond before. This was 400K before, MT. And 92 speed. On paper, this card looks like a monster. And when we look at the badges, he has Hall of Fame range extender. While I don't think Hall of Fame range extender is enough to make a card, like if you're giving up something else, like say dunking. If you have two cards, one has gold range extender and dunking, and one has Hall of Fame range extender, no dunking, pick the one with gold range extender, in my opinion. But when you have everything and you start getting into the weeds of like these little things that separate cards, that's when you really start talking about how quick the jumper is, whether they have Hall of Fame badges versus gold badges, and so on and so forth. And the fact that he has Hall of Fame range extender is very exciting. And he also has the clamps. Now, what he doesn't have is Intimidator. Now, that's not a deal breaker, but it's worth noting because Intimidator is a very, very strong defensive badge. And I think going forward, whether or not you have Intimidator is what's going to separate the men from the boys at the top, right? At the top. Ankle breakers on gold. This is another very, very important badge. In fact, I'm glad Space Creator is right there next to it. The combination of Ankle Breaker and Space Creator is going to give you stun animations when you do a lot of the dribble moves. Ankle Breaker has been buffed since they nerfed the explosive behind the back. So this is a major factor when you're doing dribble moves and you're getting these point guards and wings, whether or not they can create off the dribble in a lot of situations. So we're going to take a look at Murray's animations and see if he has the animations to measure up to what he has on paper. Because on paper, he looks absolutely fantastic. No brainer. Now, I am personally set at point guard, but I will say this card can wow me and make me keep him. He's trying to take a spot from either Marbury or Jeremy Lin, because I have Dwayne Wade starting and I have Clyde in as my defensive guard. So I still, might be open to an offensive guard besides Dwayne Wade, who is my favorite card in the game right now. Okay, so we see the hot zones everywhere. So this guy has one of the best jumpers in the game, in my opinion, at least according to his Ruby card. I haven't shot with him in a while, so it might take me a minute to get that green window back. But I tell you, when I had his green window down, I would go to triple threat. I literally hit like 90% of my shots. Like it wasn't like he got the ball and people were quitting. Like it was just that good. Yeah, there it is. So he has an excellent shot. Now it's not the fastest shot in the world, but it's not slow either. It's just right in the middle. It's a solid speed. It's in that place where it's like good enough for you to judge the shot as it's going up. You have a second to see how the character caught the shot. So yeah, it's a good shot. Now, what's important here? Well, let's look at his leaners first. What we're going to be looking at is how his dribbles facilitate that shot. That's the main thing. So he's got the straight up and down leaner where he goes right. He basically just goes into his jumper. The positive of that shot, so the negative is it doesn't get you open. The positive is when the character is moving, you don't have to worry about the fact that they're moving most of the time. Like you might get a real leaner like that from time to time, but mostly the character is just going to go into his jump shot. So you don't have to set your feet with like a dribble move. All right, so I would definitely say his leaner is very good. All right, so we're going to look at his full court dribbles first. Between the legs. Good between the legs. Really good behind the back. Uh-oh. 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 Look at his cross. His cross has a hesitation before he does it. Big hesitation before he does his cross. Not the worst thing in the world, but it's worth noting. Let's look at his left-handed cross. I mean, his left stick crossover. So this is left stick crossover. Ooh, his left stick crossover is actually very good, very quick. So the way you do this, and I'm going to start explaining the dribble moves as I do these videos because I'm getting a lot of requests for a dribble tutorial. I do want to do that, but because of my work schedule, that is not going to happen this week or most likely next week. So we'll go over how to do some of these. So even though this is just a left stick dribble, it's important to note that you're going to be running with the stick at like a 45-degree angle one way, and then you're going to shift it to a 45-degree angle the other way. So you're shifting it from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock or 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock. If you move your left stick in another direction, you will most likely get a different dribble, right? So you have to do that minor adjustment to get that left stick crossover. And this is important. This is a signature animation, and because his right stick crossover has a hesitation, see, you see how you got that delay right there? You don't want that delay. You just want the smooth, clean crossover, which is an option for you to use. But you have to be precise with the stick in order to get this. You see? So there's a lot of little signature animations depending on how you move the left stick. That's one of the most important things to know about dribbling this year, is your left stick movement greatly impacts what animations you get. All right, so we're going to keep it moving. We're going to look at his hesitation branches now. So the hesitation branches are hesi between the legs, hesi explosion in the same direction, hesi right stick crossover, hesi left stick crossover. All right? Hesitation is performed by the tapping left trigger or up on the stick. All right, so that's his. So he did a hesi between the legs there. I meant to do a crossover. I might need to. There we go. That's his hesi crossover. His hesi crossover is very good. Very, very good. We're going to look at the hesi behind the back. Nice. He's got the shooter's version of it, so you can go right into your shot off of that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me open up the chat, see what you guys are talking about. And the hesi between the legs is excellent. Guys, his between the legs is very, very good. Very good. Yeah, the delay on the crossover, I would say never use the crossover for sure. That's a sham god. I don't show the sham god too much because the sham god has to be performed when you're way ahead of people in order for it to work. I don't think it's as good as it used to be. The one thing that's notable about his sham god, I'm actually glad I looked at it. His sham god goes in the same direction. Most sham gods change direction, right? So I'm doing the sham god and he goes the same way, which is actually genuinely a fake. If people don't know that about the character, you will most likely fake them out with that move. Let's see if I can change direction. And he can change direction. His going the other way isn't as fast, but his sham god in the same direction is very unique to this character. Is a 16K Jamal Murray's a snipe? I would say the card is probably worth 16K. I would say he's probably worth he's worth 16K. Yeah, he's worth 16K. Alrighty. So what else are we looking at? We're looking at the hesi explosion. Good hesi explosion. All right, and let's look at the hesi left stick crossover. Solid. So his is a very forward-moving one. As you guys recall with Dwayne Wade, his is very horizontal. There's advantages to both. Oh, he can go horizontal, actually. So he can go horizontal. So the thing about going horizontal is it sets you up for a three-point shot in the full court, right? So people are trying to guard you and blah, blah, blah. But if you go horizontal like that, you can pull right up into a jumper. Okay, so that's a very important move to know. Like, it's a top-tier, super important move to know. You're on a fast break. You don't do that. You're on a fast break. You hesitate. And once you hit this hesi, you have a choice. Left, right, forward, right at an angle, you know what I mean? Or just stop and pop. So you're in the strong advantage. And if you don't know all the character's moves, or if like Karis LeVert, you have bad moves, you give up several of those advantages. Every card doesn't have all of those advantages. Jamal Murray has all of those advantages because not only is he a great shooter, not only is he an above average dunker, but he also has various angles that he can take his dribbles to in order to set up his shot. So this card should be absolutely deadly in the full court. Absolutely deadly. All right, so that should do it for the full court dribbles. Look at his in and out. Ooh, bad. Half spin. Bad half spin. I have to say, not a great half spin. He has the big delay on the half spin, which I don't love in terms of the full court version of it. Let's look at the in and out. Great in and out. So the in and out's another one. All right. So the in and out is performed by holding turbo and pressing up on the right stick. When you do the in and out, though, you also have left stick dribbles that you attach to the in and out. So when you hold up and turbo on the right stick, you can keep going forward, or you can move to the right, or you can move to the left. You know what I mean? So say I do this in and out, and then go to the left stick crossover, it changes the direction that I'm going. And again, this makes you very deadly in the full court. It's very effective in various situations. The one thing I would say about Murray is that his left stick crossover is very straightforward, which gives him a little bit less options. You might have to go to the between the legs when you want a crossover with Murray. Yeah, you have to go between the legs when you want to cross over with Murray if you want to go and really get a good change of direction. But good news is his between the legs is very good. All right, so we're going to look at his hesitation. So, guys, there's 3 ways to trigger the hesitation. Should I say there's really 3 hesitations, right? So you have the holding turbo. So you're holding turbo and you're going to the right, right? Well, you don't have to be holding turbo, but ideally you're holding turbo and you're moving in a direction across the perimeter. So when you do that, you can let go of turbo and press the hesitation, which is the right stick towards the ball hand, right? And you can hold turbo, which will give you, for some characters, it gives you a different hesitation. So some people have a shooter's hesitation when they hold turbo, and they have more of an attacker's hesitation when they don't hold turbo, when they just do the right stick. So that's what I'm searching for when I'm looking for this with you guys. So for instance, so Murray has the same hesitation in both situations. So now that we've established what hesitations he has, the hesitation has 3 ideal purposes. Either you're going to hesitate and go the same direction, you're going to hesitate and change direction, or you're going to hesitate and shoot. Now, the important thing to look for with hesitations is whether or not you can cancel the animations of the hesitation, right? So you see there, he stopped doing the hesitation and he went right into his jumper, right? Now, I didn't do that. I didn't let the hesitation continue enough. So what you're looking for is the perfect amount of frames. So when I say frames, as you know, these games are 30 to 60 frames per second. Animation frames is 1 animation frame, per that amount. So if you look at this hesitation, if I do a quick count, if I was to say 1,000, that's almost that's probably like a 35 frame animation, right? So if I was to let this whole thing go, that's almost a full second between you dribbling and you shooting, right? So what we want to do is we want to cancel those animation frames. I didn't do it. I did it too soon. We want to cancel these animation frames. There we go. And we cut out an entire half second of time for our defender to catch up. And if you get that down as precisely as possible, you just keep cutting that timing down because you can cut down a number of those animation frames. And that's what makes some cards stronger than others. You see that right into the jumper. So when you're coming off a screen and a card is catching up to you and you do that and you pull up, the next time they have to, they absolutely have to, if they want to defend you, they have to jump at you. And that's what opens up everything else. That's why Dwayne Wade's so strong. Because then you go into this hezi and you pause and you go to the basket. If you watch park footage of high-level players, you'll see them doing that all the time because you have to make a guess. And the cards that have this change of direction, like that, that's icing on the cake. So now, once this card is moving across the perimeter, he becomes a dynamic threat off the dribble. And that's why I look for those animations, So his hesitation is S-class because he can do all 3. He can cancel into the continued direction. He can cancel into the change of direction, which you can, by the way, mix up into the same thing. So you can hesitate once, get him off you, and then hesitate again into the shot. That literally, if I told you nothing else about the card and I told you that, this is a card that's worth your time to get. Like, this card's already good just having that. That makes him a card that you can use against anybody in any situation. Just the fact that you can hesitate and then go right into the jumper. So now we're looking at his creating off the dribble animation. So we've established his hesitation is excellent. He's excellent in the full court. Got an excellent shot. So far, this card is looking like an S tier card. He's looking absolutely crazy. And I would say this card is worth no less than 50K MT at this point. And I say a genuine 50K MT. He might even be worth more than that, quite honestly, if we were to look at the point guard market. We're going to do that at the end of this video to genuinely establish his worth versus the other guards in the market. And I'm going to put an MT amount that I personally think he's worth getting. Right now, I would say he's a steal at roughly 15 to 20K is what people are seeing prices for. I picked him up for, I think, 17 or 18 for the purposes of this video. All right, so let's look at his standstill dribbles. We're going to look at his momentum and his double momentum. So his momentum, good head movement to the side. Really good head movement to the side. You see his head goes completely to the side? This allows you to do certain momentum spin animations like such. You see, and then you can roll to the other way and hesitate into the jumper. And because they don't know if you're going to the basket, that's a very strong attack, because you can roll directly to the basket. And because he's trying to open up for his jumper, that's a very strong move from Murray. All right, the fact that his head moves to the side like that he has that nice sideways movement, allows you to get into the side movement quicker. And you see that roll? That's why you want to move completely to the side. As I said to you guys, the left stick movement is very, very important. So, you know, when you can get your angles proper, like to the side like this, like you see how he's going to the side, that changes the dribbles that you're going to get. So when you have the option to go to the side like that with a card, you get a lot of different options. You get a lot of different options out of that. All right, look at his behind the back. Very good behind the back. Good movement on the behind the back, especially for a shooter. So if you're behind the screen, the behind the back is very important, because people don't know which direction you're going to go, and you can kind of keep going back and forth with this behind the back behind screens. Like if you do that 2 times, like the way I just did it, the person's dead. Right? And another big use of the behind the back, this kind of turned into a dribble tutorial, but that's okay, is when you're here in the protect dribble, you can behind the back out of the protect dribble, like so, and get right out of a screen, right? So you do this, you do the behind the back the same way you normally do it. You're just holding L trigger first. And then out of that, you're holding L trigger the whole time. And as soon as you see the behind the back animation, you want to let go of L trigger so you get as fast of a launch as possible. And for some reason, while I'm talking, I can't do it. See if I can do it once for you guys. He doesn't want to do it no more. Sorry, guys. Apparently, I've lost the ability to dribble. All right, so we're going to look and see if he has the behind the back teleport now. The way I like to trigger it really reliably is to, oh my God. Not only does he have it, but he's really glitchy with it. So his half spin, this is a park half spin, right? Where when you do this half spin, okay, so you see he has good forward momentum out of the half spin, which gives you the option of doing a half spin into the in and out into very good momentum dunk animations, right? So that's strong right off the bat. I know some people do this and they go behind the back, which is another option. And it's very strong option. So when this half spin happens, you know, it's not really so much faking the spin as it is opening up options for you to do. Now, this also opens up the behind the back teleport, right? Where they go from a forward direction and quickly reverse direction into that. Now, I saw somebody in the 2K Gamer forum say that doesn't work against a computer. That is not my experience. It works against a computer virtually every time I do it. Now, the thing is, if you're always looking for a dunk, maybe it doesn't always work. But what happens is the computer either goes the wrong direction or they back off, right? So you do this, and either they're chasing you and they move off to the wrong side of the ball, or they wait in the paint and you can take the three-pointer. So in that sense, it gets me open. I want to say 100% of the time. Like, I don't normally like to say 100% because maybe I forgot one time it didn't work, but triple threat online getting off-balled versus the AI and triple threat offline, it works every single time I do it. Maybe you're having a different experience, maybe you're having a different timing or something, but I've done it and had it work every time. So we're going to go look to his dunk animations now because his dribbles are elite. Are there any dribbles I forgot? I don't know if I forgot any dribbles. His cross is bad, so his double cross is kind of irrelevant. This crossover might be good if you're doing like part glitchy stuff, but I would say it's overall a bad crossover. Let me hop in the chat. Check, see what you guys are talking about real quick. But yeah, this guy is a bona fide cheese ball as far as I'm concerned. And I want to finish this off before I give a final like personal judgment. And remember, the purpose of these videos is not for me to tell you guys what to do with your MT, tell you what to do with your roster. Everybody has different skills. They have different modes they play. They have different styles they play. I'm just here to show you what the card does so you can decide how that fits into what you do now and what you would like to be doing in the future. That having been said, you know, I am a human being who plays the game, so I have my own opinions. And if you guys care about my opinions, you can find my opinions here as well. But do not confuse my opinions for displaying the tools of the card. I'm not the best 2K player. If you're a better player than me, then certain things that the cards can do will work better for you than they will for me. If you're a worse player than me, certain things the card can do will work worse for you than they do for me. What's important is that you know what the card can do, right? So as you can see here, we're running through his hop animations. So seeing the distance of his hop dunks. He actually has some nice hop layup animations that you can use if you're looking for a certain thing, but he's not going to be a hop dunk cheese guy, at least not with the right stick. See if I get closer. Yeah, he's not a hop dunker. Let's see if I can, I'll try it with the square button. Yeah, he doesn't like the hop dunk, which is fine. That's not really this card's MO. So if you go into the basket to dunk, you're going to have to dunk. So when I look at dunks, I look at ball hand dunks, as in, you know, right stick pushed towards the ball hand, and then I look at away from the ball hand because that's a different gather. You look at towards the basket and flashy. So this is ball hand dunk. All right, he has a bit of a gather on his ball hand dunk. It's not a bad gather, not too slow, but it's a little slow. Opposite hand. So he's actually better opposite hand. I'm going to do it again just to see if we get a different animation. Nope. So with him going to the basket, I'd recommend opposite hand dunks. So hold the right, if you're trying to just beat your opponent, hold the right stick towards the opposite hand. He has a faster run, a faster gather. All right, we're going to look at flashies. Good flashy. He has a slight pause when he takes a step, but he gets a good jump. So that's cool. And it's a very safe dunk, too. He doesn't do anything silly. Yeah, keeps the ball in front of him. Very good. So I would say this guy's probably an excellent in-game dunker. And we're going to try ball hand going the other way. As soon as he gets the ball in the right hand. All right, here we go. Yep. So ball hand to the right side, he seems to have less of a delay. Let's try offhand going right. Yeah, he did a hop dunk there, but I definitely didn't do a hop dunk animation. Let's try it one more time. So that was a forward dunk. Gorgeous, gorgeous forward dunk. There we go. Okay, so it just seems like he's a generally weak left-hand dunker. Not weak, but he's weaker going to his left hand, right? So if you have the option, dunk with his right hand because his right hand gathers are faster than his left hand gathers. If you're going full court, I would definitely recommend forward, backwards, or to the right. Don't push left stick to the left unless you absolutely need to avoid the defender. And there you get closer to the basket and he gets good animations. But he's a good dunker, excellent dunker across the board. Yeah, this guy is ridiculous. He's an excellent card. He's well worth the MT. So now that we looked at all of that stuff, I think we pretty much covered everything. So now that we've looked at everything the card can do, I'm going to actually go to the market and look at the auction house for all of the good point guards and just see what their prices are. All right, see like who we would compare him to. So you can to give at least a right now. It's early in the day, so his price might go up. Might go down. Who knows? The market is crazy. Lamar Odom's been top. He was a top 10 card for like months, and he was 40 KMT at one point. I don't know how that happened. So auction house. So first we're gonna go point guard. We're gonna go pink diamond. And we're gonna go for buyout. So we're just gonna go across and see which of these cards he's either better or equal to, and in what ways. So he's better than Kyrie Irving. He's better than John Stockton, and this is my opinion, but I think he's better than Kyrie Irving, John, Russ. He's not going to be as good of a defender as Clyde. He plays a different role than Clyde, so I wouldn't, and I'm calling him Clyde because his name is Walt Clyde Frazier for everybody who was born after 9/11. His nickname is Walt Clyde Frazier. So he's different than Clyde because Clyde you bring in for defense and creativity off the ball. Clyde's really good at that. Jamal Murray's good at creativity off the ball, but he's more generating his own shot, and he's not there to lock up bigger guards. Like, you can put Clyde on bigger characters, and he performs way above his height. So he's better than Stockton, blah, blah, blah. Rondo, he's better than Rondo for sure. I say he's better than Rondo and Kyrie because they can't dunk. Like, it's that simple. Like, Jamal Murray's a good dunker, and they can't dunk. So, yeah, and Murray's taller than both of them, right? So I'm not just saying he's better because I like him. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Yeah. So according to the market, with Clyde Frazier being the only one of these cards that I would actually buy, like today, if I didn't have Clyde, I would buy Clyde. And according to this, Clyde is roughly 60K. So I would say Jamal Murray is roughly 60K. All of the rest of these cards are like overpriced, which is fine. But yeah, so if you, now he's going for less than 60K, right? Oh yeah, let's look at the diamonds too. So he's way better than all of these guys. I don't know if there is a diamond point guard who's as good as him, possibly besides Ja Morant. So the diamonds are kind of irrelevant because none of the diamond point guards have range extender, gold, quick draw. Well, he has range extender Hall of Fame. So range extender Hall of Fame, good dunking, good speed, good ball handling, all of the good badges, clamps and everything else. I think he's the only one besides Ja who has everything because they're both new. The rest of these cards are all giving up either dunking or athleticism or shooting or clamps. They have a sacrifice somewhere. And Jamal Murray has no sacrifices. He's basically a perfect point guard. So I would say as Jamal Murray's prices change, up to 50, 60K, you're still getting your money's worth with the card. But while the card is less than that, I would personally pick up the card. I'm not selling the card right now while he's cheap. Let's see what his minimum buyout is. So is he still going in the 20s? Yeah. While he's in the 20s, he gets my personal recommendation. While he's in the teens, 20s. I don't anticipate he will be this cheap for this long. I don't know why he's this cheap. Wow, that's tempting. But I'm not going to do it. We're not here to stack cards. All right, guys. Going to Marcus Smart. Yeah, Marcus Smart's in the group. That's a good point. Marcus Smart's in the group. I would say the main thing about Smart is he doesn't have the elite dribbling that Murray has, and he doesn't have the Hall of Fame range extender. But Smart is in the group. Smart is very, very, very good. So, yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about Marcus Smart. I would put him down for that as well because he can dunk. He's not as good of a dunker, but he can do it all. He's just not elite at all of the stuff that he does except for perimeter defense. And, yeah, and he's a little smaller too. All right, well, I hope this video on Jamal Murray was informative for you guys. I have one more video coming today, and that is a quick overview of the budget Klay Thompson card. Thank you so much for all of the likes and subscribes and support for the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.